I had celebrities messaging me. I had like Kourtney Kardashian like my picture.
Miss Carly J. What I wonder, as you were talking, what the fuck were you listening to?
I love Tupac. I love Wu-Tang.
And she gets it. You with us.
Other countries obviously have really good artists and music coming out of it.
What am I doing?
Nothing. You'll figure it out.
But not in the way that like the US does.
I actually wrote a book about weight loss because I lost 140 pounds naturally. So
Cheers to you.
I did.
Yes, like seriously.
I just found out my partner, who everyone thought I was going to marry, was cheating on me and using me for a passport.
Big Sean, top 5. I want to spiral in control.
If people close the door on me, that's absolutely fine. The door is not locked. Push that motherfucking door.
What song?
So this is let it all work out.
Yeah.
Let it away.
Man, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all missed a really great pre-conversation, and we just had to like literally stop talking. We were like, "Yeah, we're gonna."
We almost did a whole episode before we started the episode.
It was kind of crazy.
But this is episode 10.
Episode 10
with a very, very, very special guest. Cheers to our guest,
Miss Carly J. Thank you for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Playlist.
Is this how long we've been talking? My drink's almost empty.
That's why I'm like, bring it over here, like, you know.
We'll hook it up.
Man, we just had a really good convo.
We did. We did.
We're in a good space.
We're in a really good
energy-wise.
And I think it's because of this Palo Santo. I'm gonna give it I love the smell. You know what I'm saying?
It does smell good.
And get all those jujus out.
Yeah, we're gonna get, and I think that's why
That
we
bad
was already starting. Thank you for being here. One.
Yeah, for real.
And we were just talking about like real people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Carly is one of them. Like for real. The moment I met her at a place that we won't even mention.
Yeah. We talked about it before we started.
We are not even giving them a light of day, but she was a bright star out of like literally everybody in the gym.
Man,
And no, I really mean that, and I wanted to connect with you somehow, some way. I've been asking you to come here for like I think over a year. I told Tanner, I was like, I think I've been trying to get her here for like a year.
Maybe 6 months. 7 months.
But I want to give you like a really good intro because you do a lot of things. You remind me of like me. Our journeys are not similar because they're crazy. They're wacky, and I got a wacky journey. But you've done a lot, not only, you're a content strategist, right? Like social media queen. You put people in you just know aesthetically, like everything where it needs to be. You're an author, of your
voiceover artist, I saw.
Yeah.
Voiceover artist, and a world traveler.
Yeah, I just took the saying YOLO too seriously. Like, I didn't realize that till recently. I hated the word YOLO when it first came out. This is so corny, but I'm like, oh, wait, that's me.
That is.
Like, I only live once.
You do. And, people be taking that shit out of context. And it's like, oh, let's do the most wildest and craziest shit. That's not what it means. It means like, yo, live your motherfucking life. You got one of these, like, and then.
This is what I always say.
And treat your people good. Since we do have a YOLO, like I take, like, when I'm with my mom or like my cousins, like I take in the moment, like, oh, YOLO, like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this shit again type shit.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. I'm like, life is not a dress rehearsal. We are not coming back. Like, you are not doing this shit again. So stop practicing, stop trying. Just do what you want to do each day. And I always say, as long as it's not malicious, you're not hurting someone, you're not hurting an animal, child, whatever.
Or yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
Just live your fucking life. Like, do whatever you want to do, because there's so many people in this world that sit there and like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do this. Or even think about my mom, where she's like, oh, I always wanted to do this with my life. I wanted to do this. And like recently, we were talking about like traumas and childhood shit. And I feel like sometimes I'm living my mom's dream of being so free and living. Because they missed out on something. So I feel like I never want to be that person. I never want to be the person that's settled. I never want to be the person that says, oh, I regret not doing that. I'd rather regret shit than not have done it at all. So I'm very big on going after what you want. And for me, it's almost like a struggle not to go after what I want. Like, if I get an idea, if I get an idea in my head and it seems so doable, so believable, I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing it. It doesn't matter how long it takes me to do it.
Or else somebody else will.
That's it, or I just never stop thinking about it. Like even how I ended up in LA, my dream to move to LA started 17 years ago, and I only moved here 2 years ago.
You only been here 2 years?
Yeah, man.
Shit, from Australia?
No, so okay, I'll give you guys a snapshot. I was born in Australia, lived a very wild, crazy life there, rebellious teenager, into street racing, partying, all this wild, crazy shit.
Right, as you should have.
As I should, why not? It's
Right.
there,
I
you
heard that
gotta try it.
Australians can party.
We love life. I always used to say in Australia we work to be able to live. When I then lived in London, I say people live to work. It's a different mentality. Like in Australia, we just want to live.
Oh, I like that.
Do you feel like that here too?
I feel it's a mixture here. You have to work to survive in LA.
Right.
But you also want to live and enjoy it. And I think that was always my thing. Like when I grew up in Australia, my childhood was odd, my teenage years, I never felt like I fitted in somewhere. And I was always the one doing the craziest shit or just being the wild person. Like my parents probably thought I was going to get expelled from school or something. And as I got to my early 20s, like I was always hanging out with the boys, I was into cars, I was into sports, even though I was a real girly girl, and I actually used to be a beautician and a massage therapist.
What?
Yeah, crazy shit.
Okay, another layer to the story.
I'm telling you, she like me.
She's
got
an onion.
crazy. Yeah, she's very much an onion.
And I always worked. I was always a hustler. Like I always wanted to pay my own way. Like I remember when I used to hate living at home with my strict ass parents, that I used to look in the paper, because that's what we used to do to find rental properties back in like the 90s. And I'd be dreaming of moving out on my own. So like when I got to my 20s and I could move out and I could live out of home, like I loved it. And I was wild, I was crazy. Like I said, I was into street racing, driving cars, like
There
up
had
till
to be a scene.
parties, drugs, out till early hours of the morning. And I got to the age of 24 and me and my partner at the time had to move out of the place we were living in. And I was like, fuck it, why don't we just go travel the world? And I was like, wait, why don't we actually really do that? And he's like, what? And I was like, let's pack up all our shit and go.
Right.
And I did. Like,
Fact.
my boyfriend wanted to go do a season at the Snow. And I was like, mate, we're Aussie. What's snow? Like, boy, come on. Let's do something more worthwhile with our lives.
Yeah.
So we literally packed all our shit into a warehouse, packed one bag of clothes each, and took off. And I ended up traveling 25 countries in 6 months to get from Australia to the UK.
Damn.
Like it wasn't really
And
part
he
of
was with you for
I was about to say, he followed you.
Or did
Did
you
you leave
drop
this guy
off?
behind?
Right. Like,
I left him in Turkey.
Oh, hey, it gets good. It gets good. No, we actually did travel the world together. It was, looking back now, it was cool. I believe in a way, even we are not together anymore, but I even believe the worst things in your life or the stories that end happen for a reason.
Right.
I believe me and this person were a vessel to get each other to Europe. To find our own, like we needed to get there, and I'm a very big believer in like the universe and shit like that, that we were each other's person to get to Europe, to find our own pathways. And I'm still so thankful that happened. Like even though the breakup was disastrous at the time, the person tried to use me for a passport and all this shit.
Okay,
But
now we get into it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a long story. We could be here for hours, but we're not going to be. I'll tell you a short version. We got to London. We traveled the world together. We ended up separating, and I ended up staying in London.
Nice.
And I believe still to this day, even though it was a disastrous story and how we broke up, the beauty of it all and what came out the other side and me finding myself, me being in London, I believe I was meant to be there. So I still believe it was meant to happen. Got to London at the age of 24, 25, ended up spending 12 years there, loving it. I was only meant to be there for 12 months.
Right.
But that's what I say, like let life work out. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Sometimes stop trying to plan your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals.
Yeah.
Have a rough idea, but be open to what the universe is going to send your way.
You know what's so wild? It's like I thought she was from the UK. Like I always get confused with the dialect of
The accents,
Australia,
yeah.
of Australia, and
People
like
confuse
of
them.
London. But it's so wild. She's been there 12 years. So
I'm like, do you have both?
I get it every
I thought
day.
she was like from the UK, and then she says Australia, and it threw me off. I'm like, I don't know shit.
I get
hear-
it all day long, every day. Someone says to me, "Oh my God, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I don't know."
You're right. Like,
I don't know right now. Like I've been everywhere.
Damn,
But
that's
yeah,
what's up.
originally Aussie, lived in London for 12
Lived in-
years, lives
then-
here for 2.
So from London, you just came.
Yeah,
came
so
here.
I came here in
12.
2022,
Gotcha.
just after COVID. Yeah,
Just after COVID, I felt like I didn't meet you 2 years ago. No, I just met you last year. I
probably
feel
like just over a year, maybe 18 months ago we met.
I knew you had a crazy journey without even knowing you,
Yeah.
right? Two, just because you were in a space where it's rare to see a person like you at, right? And it's rare to see a person like her, a woman like her, control the space that she was controlling. And like, let me tell you, she controlled the shit out of it. Yeah. Like, even to me, she was like, nah, I didn't, and the clips weren't free. She was like, I don't know, at the time, she was like $5 a clip, and everybody had, like, I just seen her, like, you know, but it was smart. It was
hustle,
it was a
man. You have to
hustle. It was a
hustle.
business. And like, she put me on, I'm like, damn, that is smart. Like, you know, like,
I was doing it for free for a very long time. And even the boys used to say to me, so for people that don't know this, when I came to LA, I came here as a nutrition and life coach originally. I do a lot on social media, wellness, all that kind of stuff. But I heavily rocked with athletes when I was in London. I used to do a lot with soccer players, but basketball was always a passion. So when I came here, I started fucking with basketballers a lot, like helping them with social media, life coaching, nutrition, like videos, highlights. And I found a niche that, you know, there's a lot of content creators. They're amazing. There's some amazing basketball photographers and things like that. But I came along with my iPhone and just started filming these guys. And it's the one thing, you know, influencers, content, YouTube, all
we
this
all
stuff.
needed content.
Yeah.
And basketball's the one thing you can't always film yourself. You're constantly moving. You don't know where the shot's going to go. So I'm someone that I always document stuff. And I used to just film a few highlights at Venice Ball, at other leagues, at different like basketball runs. And the guys were like, oh, can I have them? And I was like, I was just posting for my own story.
Yeah.
Because I was like heavily on social media at the time. And I just remember like all the boys started asking me for clips. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then I started doing it. But I didn't feel right charging at first because I had an older iPhone. I was like, no, it's not right. This is not good quality. This is not my standard.
Let me get the 15.
And then I did. I got the new iPhone. And the boys were like, nah, we got to start paying you. I was like, fine, I fuck with that. So I started charging the Hoopers only at the beginning of last year. And then I spent the whole summer working with different teams, working with different athletes, NBA, Pro-Am players, street ball players, just influencers, helping them create content. But I also want to go deeper than that. Like I want to help them actually create something from it. And that's my whole ethos in life. My whole business, like Miss Carly J Corporation, is about helping people, whether it be nutrition, life, business, goals, digital media, like social media.
Yeah.
I want to help people achieve their goals.
Right.
Before maybe you were going this way, but before we get really into the weeds of your story, we want to mention that you have a very dope playlist. Like we saw the playlist before we showed up, and I want to point out
shit.
we forgot to do this.
Did you see it? Do you see it? Look, the QR code is right here.
Scan this QR code right here. You're going to be able to listen to Carly's playlist.
Yeah, this QR code.
You're going to be able to listen to Carly's playlist right here.
Man, her
It is
whole playlist
fire.
is banging. So here's the thing. Here's the motherfucking thing. When I like dope people, right? I'm heavily connected to music. Heavily. This is
It's really why we
Tanner and
became
I's friendship and
I always used to
partnership
connect
and
with people.
and it's like I want to know what's on your playlist, right? And I already knew the first moment I met you, like I'm pretty sure she's doping up. Like I know her music selection is sick. That's why she's in this environment,
Because
right?
I used to put these on highlights all the time. So a lot of people know my top 5 songs because I always use them on people's highlights.
So I was like, damn, what's on her playlist? And that's what this is about, right? It's about like finding out what are people listening to, right? And what got them, like, you know, that crazy journey you just told us. And it was like, I know just a little bit of it. What I wonder, as you were talking, what the fuck were you listening to? You know what I'm saying? What was on your playlist? Like, let's create a playlist of your journey, right? And like, that's what this is about. And now we really, our objective is to connect music to your journey.
And to put people on.
And to put people on
Because
to
like
new music.
a big part of connection is music.
But like, let's
My
get
boys.
so we here for this playlist, right?
I
And
want to get into the weeds of like where all of this journey started, where it came from.
Can I do something different?
What's up?
Can I do something different?
Of course.
How long do we have to what's the seconds that we could play music without getting
Not long.
not long? All right, so bet. I just want to. We're gonna give everybody a quick snapshot because we're not gonna tap into her whole playlist, and I know she really wants to.
Can I just say before we start, this was the hardest thing to get this down to 20 songs, let alone 5 we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like I left out a lot of my children. I had to play favorites.
That's what happens.
That's
But
part of it.
if anyone scans this QR code and listens to it,
Right
QR
here.
code again, right here.
Yeah.
It's fire. I'm not even playing.
They are. You have to listen to this at maximum volume. Like get in your car and blast this shit and drive around LA early hours of the morning when there's no traffic. You cannot listen to these songs at any minimal volume. They just do not rock the same.
And I feel
That's my one rule for anyone who listens to any of my playlists.
I'm gonna just a few seconds. Tanner said only a few seconds. Boom.
Oh,
We got No Doubt.
Come on, my girl.
We got Lauryn Hill,
Come on.
DMX. I mean,
I
this,
got
this makes you want to bust through a wall.
What else you got? Oh, come on, man. Come on. This is an antithesis of you. We got my boy, Big Sean. Big Sean, top 5.
Famous. Top 5.
Top 5.
Sometimes I dream bigger than I live. Sometimes I think better when I'm lit.
Light it, roll it up, ignite it.
Come on. So, yeah, no, you got a crazy.
there's so much I left off. Like, I was so devastated.
I can't wait to
I
play it
mean,
when,
everyone
like,
has pretty much told us that. They're like, this was
It
really
took me
hard to
days,
do.
like days to get this down.
So, Tan, like, let me just show the camera. You see that? You see this playlist and how you see her picture and all that shit? Yeah, that's all the gold. So get there. I don't know how you're gonna get there, but get
So
there.
we got a really, really interesting song for Q1. So I think this is the
Let's
perfect
go. Let's
time
get
to
to
get,
it.
to get
Okay.
into it.
Yeah, so Q1, right, which is what we're here for. We're here to like really break down your journey into music, right? And so Q1 is what we call
The tip off.
right? And so it's like, what song it brings you to the moment where you had that tip off moment of life, career, path, journey, all of this shit? Like, what was it?
It's gotta be Naughty by Nature, Holiday.
Oh shit! Oh, that's a classic though.
Well, okay.
We'll play it. We'll play it when
play
we
it.
play the game. But like, tell us about
What's
why.
the significance?
Yeah.
It was more like when I had to obviously choose a limited amount of songs for this, Naughty by Nature came to mind as one of my first memories of music that wasn't being played by my parents or my sister. So my parents used to play a lot of records and music in the house. My parents were from, my dad's from New Caledonia, which is a French Polynesian island, and my mum is English. So in Australia, they brought a lot of influence from their own childhood. And my sister used to play a lot of stuff. But I remember one day like cruising around in the car. Once I got my license, I was like, I'm free, baby.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Right. That is the beginning of freedom right there. Your driver's license.
In my cool little VW Golf.
Hey, man, I don't even care what it was.
Wait, I got a better car. But I remember like just putting on music and like I was introduced, like I was saying, through this music channel Rage of like a lot of hip hop and things coming out of America. And these were like, I loved Tupac, I loved Wu-Tang, I loved a lot of this stuff. DMX, Run DMC. But Naughty by Nature was like all of their songs, OPP, Holiday,
yeah.
they had so Feel Me Flow. But I just always remember Holiday, like putting it on in my car and just cruising and being like, this is life. Like this is, there's more to life. There's more out there that I don't know about. And like I was saying, that whole thing of YOLO, me living life, I feel like this is where I realized there was a big world out there. There's so many other things to know about, not just what I'm being taught by my school, by my parents, by my friends. And this is back in the 80s and 90s. Like I'm an 85 baby. That in the 90s, I was only being shown what we were shown there. We don't have technology and stuff back then. And music opened up my world of also, like, I feel like music also saved me in a way. Like, it showed me when you're going through tough times, their lyrics, things, not necessarily that song's lyrics, but it just showed me there was a lot out there in terms of the world, in terms of other countries, in terms of other cultures, in terms of, so much. And music was powerful. Music made me happy. I had a bit of a rough childhood of, like, my parents, very different, my sister, our relationship. I was always like sort of the odd kid out, like I didn't fit in sort of thing at school. And music was like my outlet. Music was my thing to show me there is more out there in the world, and listening to other people's lyrics, listening to music that made me feel good. It was like a sanctuary. And I just remember Naughty by Nature and I was like, fuck, this shit is so good.
Yeah.
And it was almost like my light. Like it was my light to the
Love
world.
it. The tip off. Yeah.
That's what's so
Yeah.
fascinating. I think obviously there's so much that's universal. Music is universal, but I think it's like the one advantage that like the US has. I mean, culture kind of as a whole, like entertainment culture, but like music
Yeah.
is like the one thing that really informs like the rest of the world. Like other countries obviously have really good artists and music coming out of it, but not in the way that like the US does.
I think it showed what people were going through, what other problems or things people were experiencing in their own lives, but then also bringing joy to music, what good things were out there, what happiness. Music is like my memories of my childhood are not always the best. Like I didn't have the best upbringing, or my parents weren't always, amicable and things like that. But my happiest memory of my parents is them dancing. My mum record player. My dad had this song he used to play called Lambada. But I can't remember the artist, and it's like this Spanishy song, and it's my memory. I think he's actually like spinning my mum around, and that's like my only happy memory of my parents.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
That's like
shit.
But that's what I was telling you. I was devastated. My mum's told me she's thrown this bloody record player away. I'm like, how could you?
yeah, that's like my
Yeah.
What's your memory? What's on? Okay, wait, real quick.
Go on.
What's on?
I was just gonna say mine, like, because
Your
I think
parents'
we
days.
all have that. Like, that's why I put "Take Me Home, Country Roads" by John Denver on my playlist, because like that. I remember like being a kid and going on vacations with my family and like my parents up in the front seat, and that was we
it's
always
like you're
listened to
watching
that
yourself.
song.
It's
Yeah,
like when I watch this memory, it's like I'm watching me watch my parents. And I'm not that close to my dad. My parents are still married. I don't really speak to my dad. I speak to my mum occasionally. But that memory of them dancing to Lambada and music in the house. Mum used to put on records, and my parents loved like Michael Jackson and stuff. The Supremes, Billy Joel, the Beatles.
Talk to me.
And, like I did want to include these as my song, but I thought, no, that's theirs. Like, let me give my embrace. So
Yeah,
music
but-
was always with me.
Yeah, but it's a part of you.
Yeah.
Like they become your favorite songs.
It's like when you still put music on today, it takes you back to that memory. So there's
Hell yeah, that's
and
what this is
that's
about. Like,
but that's what I love.
All the music on our playlist, I literally transport.
This is what I always say about
back to that day.
smells, like perfumes,
Yeah.
and music, the two things in life that will always recreate a memory. So
Legit.
whenever you're down, shit, want a good feeling, change your mood, put on some music. And
Oh,
I've
man.
got an eclectic music taste as well. I've chosen a very like a similar genre for this. But there's certain music I can put on, and oh my god, it just changes you.
So before we listen to hers, though, I
Yeah.
want to hear what your song.
Yeah, with my parents.
Yeah, with the parents.
Larry Graham, One in a Million. I'll never forget. And it just reminded me of my dad singing. He was singing this song to my mom.
Oh, that's
Like,
beautiful.
on her birthday.
Oh,
And I've never really seen my dad like sing to her
that?
before.
music makes people just be different.
Yeah.
And you have this beautiful memory of your dad.
Oh, wait, and I didn't even know the song. It wasn't even like I knew the song. He put me on to the song. Like
Exactly.
So it's like two things in one.
Yeah, it became my favorite song. And so like now I want to sing that to whomever I'm gonna love in life. Like I want that to be the song I sing to them, because like I will never forget this memory.
That's the same with
That's
Lambada.
beautiful, you
That's this song, and he just always reminds me of my parents. Or certain other like Rolling Stones, Beatles, Billy Joel kind of shit. The Supremes, my mum used to love. Like stuff like if I hear it now, I picture my lounge room, like the old house in Australia.
I
but
love
that's
music.
the same, like Naughty by Nature for me.
Oh man, I cannot wait. Because you know what? I feel like this is a deep cut, but maybe
It
not.
is.
'Cause
I mean,
haven't-
in the sense of like what their big songs
big
are.
songs
Yeah.
are like
Yeah.
I can't tell you like, but this is what this is about. This isn't about like I shouldn't know every song. I shouldn't be connected to every song
what's
that you
memorable
have.
to you.
It's what's memorable to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and like now, like these new songs that people are putting us on, like all of our guests, in that weird way. 10 years from now, a year from now, we are now going to be connected to your song
There's some-
in a different way. So we're going to play a video game. Right,
Oh,
so I
told you.
met you on the basketball court.
So we're
I think
gonna
it's
play
only
a little
right.
basketball
We're gonna
game.
play a little basketball.
I did tell Townie this. This is probably the
frozen.
only thing I've never done in my life.
Is play video games?
And the amount of guy friends
little
I've hung
frozen.
out with.
Oh, it's frozen. Do I need to?
Yeah, just
Thanks.
it's a magic
Showtime.
button.
It's like a little harmonica.
All right, let's get it.
So this is a what type of game is this?
There we go.
Hey, okay. So
that's
basketball.
Oh,
So look, you see, you got B, you got A. Those are the only two buttons you
Do you
need
know
to
how
know.
disappointed
A
my
is
boys
the-
are going to be in me if I fuck
I
this
think
shit up?
I think you're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, because everybody
B.
does good. Like, trust me, everybody
Wait.
does good.
Here, I'll
Just
set it.
wait.
I'm gonna change the rules for you so it goes quicker. But
But we're gonna play this song.
if you want to cue up,
Yeah, I'm about to cue this music so you can get in the vibe and get
What are you playing?
right.
Oh, this is groovy.
This
This isn't the type of like OPP or Naughty by Nature that I think of.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Nothing.
You'll figure it out.
We vibing right now. That's what we doing.
It's all about vibing. The game doesn't really matter all that much.
I don't know what he's doing.
They just keep getting the same hand rebound.
She's pressing B. I think the B button might be stuck.
Shaq is beating us both up.
Final shot.
Hey,
All right.
nice.
So
Do
that's-
you know that's actually the first time I ever played a video game in my
Really?
life.
Really?
We love it, and the reason why we play this game is because this is our life, right? Quarters. We break our years down to quarters. How many times, especially marketing and strategy, with Q1 or the corporate guys,
Yeah,
like
the business
Q1,
quarter.
I used to work in the corporate world, and it was that was the chat.
Q3. Let's do Q3.
Let's do this in Q3.
Yeah.
We gotta hit these numbers by Q3. But also, we are all lovers of basketball.
Yeah, so we equate it to this. And so like in life, you know, everything is in peaches and cream, you know, even though that's one of my
That's a
favorite
good song. I was just about to say, I was like,
That was a great
I was like, is that a slide?
All right, I wish it was. I should play it.
Shout out to
Salt and Pepper.
112.
Oh,
No,
you think it's 112? I think it's Salt and Pepper.
No, peaches and cream.
But 112, Darren, my boy. Shout out to Darren.
See? Yeah. But that reminds me of 8th grade. But so Q2 is, you know,
Not everything is peaches and cream in Q2.
in Q2.
Because you are missing shots.
right? And so, you know, along this journey, this amazing journey that you've been telling us, was there a moment that, I don't know where, if it was you moving to the UK, I don't know if it was you moving to the States, or just that, where was there a moment where you were like, okay, cool, you got this new idea, and like, you're like, okay, I'm going gung-ho, but you started doing it, and then you're like, it's not going that good.
This shit is harder
This
than
shit
I
is
thought it might be.
Yeah, like, life is hard,
Yeah.
I'm missing shots, and maybe I need to, like, I don't know, but
I think this can happen at various times in your life. I think it goes in cycles. Like, I think your life is not always going to be good. And I think I've learned that through doing life coaching for my clients and for myself. Life has its turns. Like, you go up, you come down. It's like a roller coaster. That's life,
Absolutely.
baby. Like, you need to just keep going. And I think, particularly probably my late teens into my 20s, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I had come out of high school. I'd tried university, college. It was not for me. I'm like, I'm deferring from this.
same, me too.
Yeah, never went
Shout
back.
out to you.
Boy, we are
Man, we are really connected. That's how I knew. I'm like, man, I felt that energy.
I'm a university loser.
It's all
No, but
good.
like, I sometimes do wish I'd finished it. Like, I wanted to do psychology and social work. Like, I love things to do with the brain, behaviors, people, humans. But it just wasn't for me. I wanted to hustle. I wanted to
Yeah.
work. I wanted to get out into the world. I was so over being controlled. School, my dad being very strict about it all. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to make my own money. You can't control me with this stuff.
Yeah, same.
So I feel like there was a point that I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was trying to prove to my parents, like, I've got this shit. I've got this. I don't need you guys. Like, I've got it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I found my tribe. I found my people. I was quite rebellious. I was having fun. It's your early 20s. You're wanting
Yeah.
to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I found that essence of the traveling and making my way to London. But even that, I feel like I had something to prove. I'd left everything behind. I mean, I packed every single possession I had into a warehouse and took one bag of clothes with me.
Look, I did the fucking same shit. When I dropped out of college, I told my roommate, I said, you could have anything. If it didn't fit in this bag,
He's going, yeah.
you can have it. And I was a big shoe collector. I had a whole bunch of shoes. I lost so many shoes to this move because I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Sometimes you don't care
I just
anymore.
don't care.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I had something to prove, and moving to the UK, I didn't actually know what I was going to do, where I was going. Like, I'd done all these jobs in my life. I'd been an office manager, a receptionist, a PA, sales, business development. But later on in life, I realized all those jobs have actually helped me.
Right,
So
right.
everything does serve a purpose. Even
Yeah.
your bad days, even your worst bits, even where you're missing shots in life, trust me, they make sense later on. They will come back to you. Even when I was in the UK, I had a great job. I was doing something completely different in corporate recruitment, HR. But then me and my partner split, and I was like sitting on my lounge room floor, like at 28 years old, and thinking, what the fuck am I doing? I just found out my partner, who everyone thought I was going to marry, was cheating on me and using me for a passport. And I'm like, fuck. All the
You
stuff.
moved halfway across the world.
And all the
with
stuff
this
we'd put in a warehouse was on a shipping container to us because we decided to ship all our stuff over. So I've got all this stuff coming, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my life? What am I going to do? I don't know what I want to do anymore. I'm 28. And everyone's like, oh, you're coming home. And I was like, what?
Fuck that. No. Oh my God. That's
Oh, I
like,
hate
hell no.
And I
you
was-
almost need to hear that.
Yeah, because it made me go, home, this is home.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's I didn't feel like Australia was home anymore. I felt like the UK now was.
Yeah.
Because it's where I found myself. So even though I was missing shots, or I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, or my relationship was failing, or whatever, I was like, I may be missing all this shit, but somehow I feel like I'm also finding myself.
Yeah.
Was I failing, or was I coming together?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know how people always like, I don't want to spiral out of control. I want to spiral into control.
Yeah.
And sometimes you
Yeah.
don't know the difference.
Oh.
I drop gems.
Ooh, I don't want to spiral out of control. I want to spiral in control.
Did
That's
I
a
say
good one.
I write good bars, man? I got
Yeah.
bars for
You're an
days.
author. You got all. You
I got, man, you
you're
should
a
see my
wordsmith.
notes. You should see my notes. I write so many lyrics. I would love to one day write an album.
You should.
I think I pretty much already have.
I think you're the person that will. If you say you're
I
gonna
say
do it,
I'm this
and you
person.
say that you want to do it, guess what I have back there? A recording studio.
I got my microphone. But this is the thing. I think, like you said, it's perspective. Do you see yourself as failing in the worst scenario in the world, or do you see it as, wow, this is a lesson, this is a learn, this is trust me to any younger person listening to this. You might think you have a stressful situation. You might think it's the end of the world, or you've got something going on in your life. Trust me, don't stress. There's going to be worse shit in your life you're going to deal with later on.
Facts.
And even when you get there, you'll be equipped to deal with it because of all the other shit you've been on.
Facts.
Grieving has stages. Anger has stages. Annoyance. Situations that happen.
Success has stages. Happiness has
Yes.
stages.
But that's why I always like, if something bad does happen in your life, I always say to yourself, will this matter in 5 years' time? If you say, no, actually, then don't give it more than 5 minutes of your thoughts now. Like, yes, it might
Probably
matter.
won't matter next month.
Exactly. So how much time do you actually let it affect you?
Can I call it 5 for 5?
5 for 5, baby.
If it don't, would you say if it don't affect
If
you
it don't in
5
5 years' time,
don't give it 5 minutes.
That's it. But like I do understand some scenarios might happen and it does affect you. It has got you down. Everyone's scenarios or problems are different levels. Some problems are bigger than others.
Yeah.
But that's what you need to look at life in the bigger picture.
You kind of started leading it into what
Yeah.
Q3's about, but before we get there, we want to know what that song
that
is.
song
What that
is.
song is,
Yes,
that
yes,
period.
I'm excited.
Jay-Z, Lost One.
Oh, that's
Which,
a good
what if, like we've talked about this on so many episodes
And
so
they
far,
do.
like the titles
Everyone
always
hits.
match up. The
Always.
titles always, the
Always.
words of the title
This
always
is why
go
like
with
there's
it.
so many
Always.
songs I could have chosen. This song
Always.
was actually introduced to me when I was in Australia, but to this day I can listen to it, and I still remember cruising around in my Nissan 200 SX, SR20 Turbo, me and my little racer girl shit.
Yeah, your Need for Speed Underground
yeah,
shit.
And I had a lot of friends from New Zealand, a lot of Maori friends, and one of my friends introduced me to this song, and I could play this on replay. And they introduced me to some really cool music. So that's what, again, I loved about being friends from different cultures, friends from different countries, friends from different eras. They introduced me to some really cool music.
I mean, it's one of my favorites too. I was in
Yeah.
college at the time. I think I
I
was
love the
21
meaning
too.
of it because this song's about Jay-Z's nephew died in a car accident, and then his missus had a baby, and it's still this baby reminds him of his nephew. So I love this song because he died in the car.
Yeah, and then this was supposed to be his last album.
Yeah.
Remember at the time he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna rap anymore after this."
So you got to pick up your sticks though, because we still got a game to play.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Okay.
She picked it up just like that. She was like, okay.
This is brainless to unnecessarily go through these
Look
changes.
at that. Jump.
Jay Richie Miller.
Okay, half quarter. Oh my God! Holy shit, she's hitting everything.
Should have passed it.
Meant to be.
She was just playing in quarter one. She was fucking with
She
us.
does me. At 23, I would probably love my work more than I could cheat.
Stop it. Stop it.
Oh, boy, Shaq, get that shit.
Halftime.
Oh, how did you win that still?
It's halftime, baby.
Died in the car I bought.
This is it.
So under the belief it's partly my fault.
That was a bar right there. You
It
gave
is. That's my
So
favorite.
repick your players.
A real quick.
Just press A twice.
Back, it goes forward.
There we go.
Can't run from the pain,
Run
go towards it.
Can't run from the pain, run towards it.
See?
We were just mentioning that spiraling in control, you know.
Yeah.
Can't be successful without running towards it.
Right, head on. And so, all right, man, you got a crazy story. I said, man.
I love how you quietly just look at the girl.
Wow. Thank you for Q1 and Q2. I'm excited to know about Q3.
This is where things get juicy.
Juicy. They do because we call this
The rebound.
right? And you just told us about how, you know, you were in that moment, like, what the fuck, sitting on the couch or the, you know, that living room floor. You got this shipping container coming here. Your boyfriend just did some stupid shit, and it's like, I love, you know, there's a scary moment, but I personally love it. What's most important about that moment is what you do next. Right, and so that's why we call this the rebound. So if you're not making shots, right, and you watch basketball all the time, you can affect the game in many different areas, right? So if you know, so just because you're missing a shot doesn't mean you can't participate. Doesn't mean you can't
Make a good assist, a good rebound.
you know. And so, like, what did you do? Like, what was your rebound from that? What was your pivot after all of that happened?
I think it was the most pivotal point in my journey of who I am today. And I've never thanked my ex, but I feel like I want to thank him for that awful scenario.
Can we thank him now?
Can you thank
we
him?
thank him now?
Yes, I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, no, we don't have to say no. We don't do all that.
But in a philosophical way of a lot of reminiscing and now me living in LA, I actually think a lot about my life and things that have happened. And even though the scenario was horrible at the time, he was a horrible person for what he did, I look back with thanks because you have to sometimes in life. Because if that did not happen, I would not be who I am today.
Yeah.
And even though it ended in a horrible scenario, which will happen to you a lot in life, in your 20s, you know, young relationships, I'm so thankful he did this because I'm so thankful he cheated on me. I'm so thankful he used me for a passport.
And you carry that energy. You can see it right here.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And people say to me, that was the worst thing that happened to you in your life. Why do you say it with such thanks? And I'm like, because I wouldn't be who I am. And I feel like everything happens to you in life and you have to take it and you have to keep going. And I'm so thankful it did. I could not imagine if I had have stayed with him kind of where my life would be. But at that pivotal moment, everyone is like, oh, you're coming back to Australia. You're coming home. I'm like, no, bitch, this is home.
No, right.
I was like, why am I coming? Just because a man breaks up.
Backwards, right.
But I'm also a very like dominant female that I was like, just because a man breaks up with me, you think I got to move home?
Right,
What?
right.
I'm a woman. I can do this shit.
Right.
But it was motivation and a way to succeed on my own. And I knew I'd always wanted to move to LA. It had been with me since I was 21, but I ended up in England first. And I knew I wanted to still end up here. And I used to come here on vacation a lot. I tried other cities like Houston, Miami, New York, Vegas. But I was like, something about LA. There's something in my gut that tells me I've got to end up in LA. And like I said before, when I get an idea in my head, it's going to happen. You're really hard to stop me doing anything I want in life. And I think partly I didn't want a partner after that because I was like, I don't want anyone stopping me. I don't want anything to happen. I'm going on this journey. So it was at this pivotal point in my life where me and my partner had been together for 6 years and traveled and moved across the world together, had separated. I was in a job that was draining me, but I was really good at and earning really good money at. And I was sort of at this point of like, what do I want to do with my life? And I was at the point as well where I used to be 280 pounds, which is 20 stone, 127 kilos for anyone that doesn't know. I've been big my entire life. I had already actually started on my health journey when I was with my partner. So I didn't do this because I'd had a breakup and like had a boyfriend diet or whatever. I'd wanted to get healthy in my life. I'd wanted to change myself, be the best I could be. So this was this pivotal point. I'd also got rid of the partner. I had more time to do stuff for myself. I changed jobs and I ended up going on this huge weight loss transformation and lost 140 pounds over 2 years. So
Cheers to you.
Yes,
Thank you.
like seriously.
So it's like, I'm one of these people, I don't half-ass anything. I use my full ass. I changed my whole life But that's what I feel like I did. I didn't just do things in halves.
Yeah.
Like I changed everything in my life. And I'm 28 years old, living in a country with no family, no partner, a handful of friends. And I decided I wanted to do this whole health journey by myself, no help from anyone, no personal trainer, no dietitian.
Right. It's about you.
Was working 50 hours a week in recruitment in an office job. I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking. I just decided to get my life together. And it was the best thing I could have done for myself. And I feel like it was so pivotal of that turning point of coming back, finding myself again. For my entire life, I'd done things for other people, for partners, for friends, for my family, to please everyone else. I was like, what the hell am I doing for me? And from that moment on, it was actually 10 years ago on February 28th, and I celebrated it this year. We're talking about celebrating ourselves. I had my 10-year anniversary with myself, and it felt so goddamn
10-year
good.
anniversary
with myself. And I was like, damn, that's good. Don't get me wrong, I've dated during this time.
Yeah.
I've had partners, but I haven't been in a physical long-term relationship because I wanted to do that with myself. I wanted to be with me. But alongside that, I decided to start my own business because I'd lost all this weight. And this is back when Instagram was starting to really pop. And the whole Transformation Tuesday, I was posting my weight loss images and my Instagram just blew up. My social media grew. And I had celebrities messaging me. I had like Kourtney Kardashian like my picture. I had NBA players reach out to me, NFL players reach out to me. Like I had so many newspaper articles about my story, and I was sort of sitting there going, why the fuck is everyone talking about this? I'm like, I'm just some fat girl that lost weight. And I have no problem with word fat, it does not offend me. And I was like, why is everyone talking about my journey? I'm just posting like on social media. And that's when social media really started to grow and influencers came about. Everyone's like, oh, you're an influencer. I'm like, hell no, I am not an influencer.
I am me.
But then I understood the term. I was helping to influence people in a good way. And I got my book published. It's called Half the Size, but Twice the Life.
Ooh, I love that.
Hey.
See, wordsmith.
Right, wordsmith.
I literally love writing. I love
Same.
I
I'm
love
a
words.
huge
Yeah.
writer. I love words.
And so I rocked with it. My book came out in 2019. I came here in February of 2020. Kobe had just passed. We here for like the memorial thing.
Rough.
I was with some friends
Wait,
the
did he
night
pass
before.
before you come, or
He
like?
passed when I was in England. I came here for his memorial service and everything, and some friends I knew in basketball. Like I spent the night before with some of them before his ceremony, and I was like, that's it, I've got to move here. I just feel like I'm meant to be here. Me and my girl Hannah were here. We had a great week, and I was like, let's go back to London. I'm going to apply for this visa. We landed back in the UK, and we went into lockdown in COVID.
Hell yeah.
And I was like,
Great time.
what? I was like, no, I've just made the decision. Like, it's taken me 15 years to make this decision.
I know. Now you can't go nowhere.
And I was like, fuck, don't worry, I'll be over in a month. We'll be fine. We booked a new flight.
Isn't that moment crazy in life that?
I still remember it so vividly because I was
Yeah.
here, you know, I was
We-
like in this vibe. I was like, yeah. And obviously COVID kept going and going. And I was like, fuck it, I'm still doing it.
You made it happen.
Is there a moment within this, like in this rebound, that you could give us, you know, and others, like a thing that you did, like, you know, something tangible? Because I think a lot of it is intangible. But like, was there a tangible moment? You know, I know, was it the book? Was it writing the book? Or
I think yes, in a way. I think that was therapeutic for me. I think I had always been overly obese, a big girl in my life, and that was something that was quite normal to me. Like, it didn't bother me. I was really confident. I had a boyfriend. I traveled the world. I think being bigger before had taught me to love myself, taught me you can be anyone you want to be, and you can still love yourself. I don't care if you've got purple hair, 3 arms, 20 legs, whatever sex you choose to be.
Yeah.
Love yourself, boy. Like, everyone can. And so for me, I think a lot of it was the pivotal, like the traveling to the UK, separating with the boyfriend, being on my own and deciding what I wanted and changing my life. I started this whole Instagram personality of Miss Carly J. Isn't even my real name.
what's your real name?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Tell us
I'm
on
not gonna tell
camera.
you.
Okay.
Government. But like I created that. Like, it was a nickname. Carly J was it's a play on my real name.
Yeah.
But I started that because it was just like this platform. I started the name. I started the brand.
I'm going to cut you off
No, go for
in
it.
a second. Just because I feel like she's going into Q4 right now.
Yeah,
Good
go,
call, good
yeah.
call.
I feel like what you
What
were
song?
talking about with
Yeah.
what you've built is like
I'm on,
Q4.
I'm on, like,
Yeah,
I got lost
I
for
feel
a
like we
second.
need to know what the song for Q3 is
Okay.
before we
This the
hear all
first
of that.
time
This
got
is my
lost.
rebound song because moving to LA was pivotal to me because it was something I'd wanted to do for 17 years and I made it happen.
What song?
Damn.
So this is Let It All Work Out by
Yeah.
Little Wayne.
Yeah.
Let it all work
God,
out.
I wanted to say it's like
Oh
welcome,
my God, this brings back so many
Let
memories.
it all work out. And again, the title just matches,
So
the
this,
story.
when I moved here, I didn't know if I'd made the right decision. And I used to drive I go to gym every morning. I'm a morning person. I used to drive to Gold's at Venice. This would sit on replay down the motorway.
I love that.
Like replay.
So-
If anything breathed in my song, I'd replay it.
And then this moment
This
just takes
moment.
this
It's
song
just-
just takes you back to
Like,
that car,
literally.
Gold's Gym, and all that. I love.
I know it's late in life. This song's come out.
Yeah, but no,
it was so
it's so
pivotal.
pivotal in that moment. Yeah, that's what it's
It
about.
doesn't matter what year it was, what it was in your life. It's like if it just when it connects. Like
Tunchi, I love you for this song, boy.
Man, let's
It
get into
all
it. We're gonna play this
work
third quarter.
you gotta make the big pivot in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the buttons
You're
again?
on offense. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, B
That's
is
good.
to what?
I'm glad you didn't have like a token LA song for when you moved to LA. Like,
Right.
welcome to LA.
California Love or some shit. Oh shit! I forgot.
Shoot it.
What's the shoot? I
B,
can't remember.
the green button. Hold it.
Damn, good shot.
1 point game.
Oh, what?
Have to press that.
Oh, she's on fire. She's on fire.
What's that mean? Where's mine? Where's mine? Oh, she got
You
the ball
pass it
back.
to Kobe. Shoot it. Shoot it. Pass it to Kobe. Shoot it.
Watch the shoot button. I can't do it. Wait, I can't. My button's not working.
This is the. You came back though. You
Please
came
don't
back.
judge me. Don't judge me.
Amazing story so far. So now we're in Q4, which is
Big Shot Rob.
right? And you're familiar with basketball very much in the Lakers.
Yeah, you should know Robert
Yeah,
Horry.
you know Robert Horry. You know the big shots that he's made. You know, and the reason why we put him in the fourth quarter because sometimes we're bench players, sometimes we're starters, sometimes we're a star. But it doesn't matter where you are when you're in the game. If you're in the game, you're a player. And you have to be ready to hit shots, whether you're a star or not the star, right? So give us a moment and a song that you resonate with to, hitting a big shot. So you moved out here to LA, like let's recap. London, boyfriend, Australia, you're moving here, shipping containers, cats, we're here, stacks of paper.
Yeah.
Boom, you're here. What moment?
And I feel like you were getting into it right before we.
Yeah, I feel like moving here. I'm one of these people that visualize a lot of things before I do it. So when I actually do it, it doesn't sometimes feel as exciting. And I heard this recently on a podcast. God, this is really bad. I can't remember who it was. It's someone quite big who said this, that the actual getting there is sometimes not as enjoyment as the actual process. Like it's like, you lead up to your birthday and then you get to your birthday and like, oh, it's it.
Yeah.
You
Or
all
like-
this planned and
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah, it's like you kind of blow up the,
Yeah.
you make it bigger than what it is.
And I think because I'm also very big on visualization and I'm very big on planning things, I sometimes feel like I've done things before I do them. So when I moved here, I was waiting for this big hurrah moment, and it sort of still hasn't come. Like in a way, I've had mini hurrah moments. Like I remember one day driving down the freeway or something, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm here."
Yeah, the sun
I
hit, the
waited-
sun sets, and it's beautiful.
There's certain days where I still have those moments,
Yeah.
but I feel like I've got to also give myself grace and be kind in some points. Like I have made it here, and I've done this all on my own. But I thought I had so much to give, and I was starting to meet people here that didn't necessarily need all the nutrition and life coaching. They needed some of it, but they needed help with a lot of other things. And that's like I came here as a coach and to help people better themselves. And I thought there's lots of different versions of that. It doesn't just have to be nutrition. It doesn't have to be life. And as I started to meet a lot of the guys in the basketball world, so I had a lot of friends here in basketball before I moved here. And a lot of my friends from Miami were out here and they introduced me to loads of other people. And one of them broke their leg while they were here. And I didn't know him. I'd known him for 24 hours, but I knew the team and the coach and everything. And they were like, shit, we're flying back to Miami tomorrow. And I was like, oh, fuck, I feel sorry for this dude, man. Like, I need to help him.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can stay with me. So I took in someone I'd known for 24 hours. I knew all
That's
these.
the type of person you are.
I knew all his friends really well. Like one of his friends I actually used to do a podcast with in the UK.
Okay.
So they were family to me.
connection.
Shout out Miami Pro.
Hey,
Love.
Miami Pro.
Freddie, if you're listening, you're a pain in the ass while you stayed with me, but you know I love you. So it was a really funny time because I just moved to this brand new country,
Yeah.
living by myself, And suddenly I'm stuck in this situation, and I was like, I have this dude. But it was a really beautiful time because it made me almost get to know things in LA. It made me like understand others. It made me understand ways of life. And I'll always joke with Freddie that imagine if he'd never stayed in there, I don't know where my life would have headed that year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he was a pivotal part in my moving to LA. He's like family to me now. Like honestly, he's my brother for life.
Yeah.
But it was a pivotal part of me really getting into basketball as well. Because of them as well, I was...
How you got... that was...
I did know a lot of them in basketball, but I started hanging around basketball more.
Mm-hmm.
Then once Freddie got better and went back to Miami, I kind of missed. It was like my community, or it was like where it made me feel comfortable. These guys made me feel like family. I didn't feel like I had to go and... like, I just wanted to go and feel... like, be somewhere where I felt cool, just chill.
Basketball
could just
do
be
that.
you.
Yeah.
It was a really beautiful community of people in LA. And I started hanging out down at Venice Ball a lot.
Yeah.
Shout out them. Shout out Nico.
Nico, yeah. Fuck with Nico.
Shout out all the guys.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Drew League. Shout
Yeah.
out the whole Smiley family. They're
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
My company, I say it's a business services company, but I help people with all aspects. I want you to be your best version. I want you to be your best self, whatever that means for you. So a lot of my services are very tailored and bespoke to people. But I feel like I have been over here for 2 years. So I realized I had to give myself grace. I made it through that dream I once had.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm taking on clients. I started working with some NBA guys. I had the opportunity to film some of them. I worked at Drew Holiday's event. Got to film Kyrie and the Drew.
Yeah,
Shout
seen
out
that.
Kyrie.
Shout out Kyrie. Left
The
hand.
best ball
other night.
handler in the game.
The game
That
the other
moment
night.
I'll never forget. He's just like,
That's the best shot, man. But there's a lot like Harrison Barnes. I got to do some some work with some other guys, some NFL players. Just like through social media, content, digital.
Yeah.
I do a lot with strategy. Like I always say to people, "What's your goal?"
Yeah.
And then we're going to work backwards
Yeah.
and see how we're going to get there.
oh, that's our favorite line.
Yeah.
What's your goal, baby?
He literally said that like 2 days ago.
And so for me, I think the first year I was here and the second year it was finding my place. What do I want to do? Because of supply and demand as well. Coming out of COVID, there was a lot of free information for health, nutrition, personal training. So even though I came here to do that, I didn't feel like there was as much of a niche for it anymore as much after COVID. People wanted help with other things, like how to get their life together, how to change their life. People were reassessing themselves. And my love for sports and basketball, it just sort of coincided that I started doing a lot more with basketball events, basketball tournaments, players, pro-am players. I work with a particular team, Soldiers, shout out Soldiers, family for life. Love them. So like I'll always be there for these guys because they accepted me. They didn't have to. Who's this little bloody kid from Australia with this weird bloody accent trying to film us and do this shit? They didn't have to.
Yeah.
They welcomed, majority, 99% of them welcomed me with open arms and appreciated what I was doing and were happy to pay, little bits of money to have me there filming and stuff like that. And I loved that and I wanted to give back to it. And a lot of what I do isn't about money. It's about helping these guys. And they will know that. I know some of them know. I want to see them win.
And that's, I think, like, I want to bring this up before we go into your Q4 song, is like all this talk of like working on yourself, getting yourself grace. It's like, you mentioned like, oh, I've only been in LA 2 years and like, look at all this shit that I've done and like leading up to this point. But it's like people might look at you and be like, how is like she doing all this cool shit with only being here 2 years? But it's like because of all that time you spent working on yourself.
But it's also, it's like I said, all the years, and I appreciate you acknowledging that and saying that because sometimes people do. I know there was a few people that were like, who's this girl? What is she doing? She's doing what we want to do. Well, then fucking do it, boy. Like, what are you doing? Stop watching me and put that energy into yourself.
And it allows you to be able to help these people because you can only help people once you've helped yourself.
And that's it. And I put so many other people on. And my boys know that. If I win in life, we're all winning. Like I say, if people close the door on me, that's absolutely fine. The door is not locked. Push that motherfucking door.
Facts.
Or I'm going to build that table and I'm giving you all a seat at it. I swear
I
to...
never close the door on nobody, like, for good. Like,
No.
like, all my artists, like, anybody who I've worked with in the past, they could literally call me up and they know I'm going to answer the phone because I called you family. Once I call you family once, I literally mean that. Because we don't talk means nothing.
No, that's as long as they're on good... There's some people... I won't help in life, and I'm happy to say that. There is some people that
There
do
are,
not
but
deserve.
it's a very small.
It's a very small.
Because even those people, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, you know, because
I get what you mean.
know.
I'm a very generous person. I
Yeah.
love helping people, but I ain't no fucking fool.
We're connected, Carly. Me, you, him. Like, and little do you know, before we get to, because I want to know about your Q4. I don't think I mentioned this. I grew up chubby. I always wanted to be a model, right? And like I remember I told my cousin I wanted to be a model as a chubby kid. I didn't even know I was chubby at the time. Like I knew I was like
I can't
fat,
even imagine.
like chubby, but like I didn't know. Like, you know, because I'm thinking like, I don't know. Like I just didn't know. And then they laughed at me like, you gonna be a model? Look at you. And I'm like, wait. And that's the first time I like, you know what I'm saying?
And this is the annoying thing about, I guess, the era we grew up in. It wasn't seen, like, chubby kids wouldn't be on modeling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, today, the world has changed. I'm
Right.
like, dude, I want to be the best child model.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't accept us back then.
They didn't. But, you know, but to say that, you know, I think why you are who you are, I think why I am. I still, no matter how small I've gotten, no matter how in shape I've gotten, I still feel like that kid.
Oh my God, thank
Right?
you.
So it's hard, you know, and then people like look at me and they expect me to be a certain way. They want me to act like the way I look, and I still think I'm this chubby
So
kid
thank
walking
you for
around.
saying that, because I say this all the time. Sorry for using the word fat, anyone's offended
Yeah.
by it. I always still say I still feel like Fat Carly. And the reason I say this is I have an article coming out soon about my 10-year anniversary of this whole weight loss journey. And the woman asked me this. She said, you always used to say this thing in your book and in your post that you still imagine yourself as Fat Carly. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but say you're going to get an outfit for this weekend and you picture yourself getting dressed. Do you
Yeah.
still picture old you?
Yeah,
Yes!
100%.
Thank
Like
you.
what? I can't see. I've been on billboards and shit, and like I still, like, I will walk in a room and I just still, but it's something endearing about that, right?
There is.
Like, you know, I don't
Not
walk
forgetting
in
where you
like
came from.
Yeah, like I don't walk in. Oh, I look good. I'm the shit. Like I'm still
I
walking in
still
like
feel.
you know.
I think
like-
I wear more clothes today or covered up than when I was big. I used to wear
Yeah.
bikinis when I was. I was a size
Me too,
Australian
right now.
26,
Man.
and I wore bikinis on the beach as a 280-pound woman.
Man.
I wear one pieces today.
I don't even like showing off my body for like.
I
It's
don't know
weird.
what it is.
It's the weirdest
I've been
thing.
single since I lost the weight. I've been single. I had a boyfriend when I was big. It's just weird stuff, but I still identify with my old body, and I think it's because that's who we were. Like that's who we were as a child. We still picture it, and we still almost identify with that. And it's like someone said to me, "Would I ever?" From losing weight, I'm gonna break these things. From losing weight, I have a little bit of saggy skin. Not as much as some people, because I did a lot of weight training, which helps your saggy skin. But someone said to me, "Would you ever think about getting rid of it?" And I was like, "It's never really bothered me." I contemplated getting rid of some arm skin and stomach and stuff. And someone said, "Would you do it?" And I said, "I don't know. I've got an emotional connection to it.
Right.
I feel like if they remove it, it's like part of me going.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd rather live with it because it's me."
No, that's real.
Hey, cheers to you guys for your fucking journeys. Cheers to that.
For real, for real.
And I think
Is
this
it
is
time?
the perfect
Perfect
time to
moment?
hear
Okay.
what this song
Yeah,
that
okay.
sums
So-
up all of
Yeah,
this
all of
growth
that.
in
So
this
I feel
business.
like I feel like
Q4, you
I feel
hear
like
it.
I've been hard on myself because I know I'm someone that can achieve things, but I think I need to give myself grace that I made it here. This was my dream. I made it. Doesn't matter how long it took me. I got here. I did it. I've made an impact. I've helped people. There's still a lot for me to do here.
Same.
I still feel like I haven't. Like I still feel like I'm reaching for that pinnacle bit of success in my new US life. I know I've made lots of success in my life. I still feel like I've made it here, but now I feel like this is a new chapter. I'm going to start back at Q1.
So you hit the shot.
So to capture Q4 and
Yeah.
to capture this game, because we know there's lots of games in life.
Man,
She gets
she
it.
gets it. You with us.
This is the end of one game of my whole journey from
Right.
me to here.
Right.
I believe when I turn 38, I believe I've turned this new corner. I'm about to go on a new journey. But to
Yes.
capture this game,
What
Jay-Z,
is it?
Rock
Rock
Boys.
Boys.
And the winner is. And the title is Rock Boys, and the winner is
Carly J.
Carly motherfucking J.
Now let's see if she's gonna win. I want to point out you're still on fire, so any shot you shoot with Kobe is going in.
Oh, perfect song. I love this
Hey! Shoebox, I'm holding all my cash.
song. Oh, we in the house.
I can't move.
You gotta. Oh shit.
Uh-oh. Lay, you taking you're running away.
I think I'm running
I'm
away
done.
with
I'm
it.
done.
Lay's running away with it.
Oh, you gotta take that for.
Don't give up. All right. I have to say,
I think my keys aren't working.
to go from that big motivational swell that we just ended on, and then you just straight up, you just gave her the business.
I literally don't even know what I was doing. I'm blaming it on the gin and juice you poured me before this started.
I really thought that was gonna end on a high note.
I actually really thought I was going to win that shit
I thought you were. I
too.
like she
Lay
was
was
gonna take it.
Lay was like, I'm not laying off the gas.
I
No,
can't.
no.
Oh, I can't.
I told you, I didn't even know what I'm doing in this shit. I was just like this.
Well, you know what? You did great.
I appreciate you guys.
This whole conversation has been great. You know, hearing your story and like you said,
Inspirational.
this is just a game, right? Like this is, and we're on to the next.
We
you
play
know?
many.
We have many
Just
games
have
in
to
our
keep going.
lives.
Like
and
that's
it's an 82 season game,
that's it.
right? I
So-
mean, it's an 82 season.
82 game
82
season.
game season.
Season
Plus
and-
playoffs,
plus
'cause we're in the
playoffs,
playoffs.
right? And that's how me and Tanner feel, man. Like, you know, I've had many games, and we've started our own game. You know, that this is a part of it. And
I mean, I've known him 3 years. We've had several games in those
for
3
real,
years.
legit. And one thing that we're gonna take away, and Tanner, we're gonna take away this is giving us grace of the moment, you know, and we can stress about a lot of things, where we are, the show, and all this, and you know, having a really healthy conversation with you, you know, it just uplifts me. And this is not easy, you know. Doing this podcast isn't easy. Creating this moment, having this studio isn't
Life
easy.
isn't easy.
Building
Life isn't
anything
easy. It's
isn't
not
easy.
So thank you. you
No,
know.
I appreciate you guys doing this in general, but also having me on. Like it was really nice when you reached out and said it. I was like, oh my god, I feel so
I
privileged.
just knew she had a crazy story.
But
Yes.
I feel like life is tough,
Yeah.
but you just have to keep on going. Like there is beautiful moments. Not every day is going to be enjoyment and happiness and peachy keen bloody stuff, but you have to intake what you can from life. I think as you get older, you have to determine what is happiness, what is success, and what is wealth.
Exactly.
Like what are you leaving behind? What essence are you having on people? What impact are you having?
I feel like it's this. We're like almost making it seem as if we're wrapping up here, but we do have one more
One
song.
more
here.
song that
So
we wanna
this is
talk
the
about.
culmination of
Because you
all
hit
of
the game-winning shot.
Yeah.
You moved here. You bounced back. You're pushing forward. You've created a community for yourself, a safe haven for yourself.
Yep.
Within you, you know, it's beautiful. You know, and I feel like you did win this game,
Yeah.
right? So
And before you start a new game,
Yeah.
you got to celebrate this
Celebrate.
game.
I
Celebrate
always
your
say you
moment.
have to celebrate your moments. I say never get too. I always say never celebrate too big. Like when you celebrate too much, you've left the stage.
Miss
So-
Carly J talked her shit on the podcast
Yeah,
today.
you talked your mother
And now-
shit.
This is
girl.
my song.
And now we're about to hear her championship song. But before Lay hits play, there's one thing we have everybody do.
God,
They
is it
gotta
a
go.
shot?
They have to go over to our court and take a
Take a
shot
shot.
on the basketball hoop.
Oh fuck!
So I'm gonna go find the basketball.
It's right there. It's right there.
This is gonna be embarrassing.
We're gonna get you high.
She's not a quitter.
No quitting.
She called her own shot.
She did.
Can you crop it? Can you crop that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
The voice will kill me.
You are just the antithesis of you, right? Because what I love is not giving up. You didn't give up on that
Yeah.
shot.
Oh no!
right?
Like the boys would take
Yeah.
the piss out of me.
You were like, I'm
You're like,
No,
I'm not
I'm
sitting
making
down.
that shit.
We're not closing this episode until I
yeah.
make it.
And some people do close this episode without making it, right? But you didn't, you know, because
No, that's embarrassing. I gotta see
Right.
these boys this weekend.
good stuff,
What?
Miss Carly J.
Thank you so
And,
much for coming on.
for being
We
on,
appreciate
like-
you.
No, I appreciate you guys
Telling your
having
story.
me.
had a great time listening
That's
to
it.
your story.
Look, if anyone wants, they can buy my book. They can
Yeah, talk
check
about
out.
it. Talk
well,
about it.
look, my book is available worldwide, anywhere. Google it, Carly J, Carly with an I, and it is called Half the Size but Twice the Life. Or just hit me up on Instagram, Miss Carly J. Yeah, if
Done.
anyone needs any help, life coaching, nutrition, get your shit together. I'm your girl.
She is your
She was-
girl.
shit, I might hit you up.
Yeah, no, legit. We might have a conversation after that. No, you helped us out. I feel like, and if I hope people watch this episode because it is so motivating, you know, and it is so inspirational.
I appreciate you guys having on, being able to show songs that like have contributed to my journey and helped me.
And cherish the music that you're listening to right now, because you don't know, like,
Yeah,
you're going to be looking back in 5 to 10 years or longer, and you're going to be like, God damn, that song was everything for me.
Yeah, like remember this stuff, like remember moments, play music, let it take you places.
And also, subscribe to What's Your Playlist on
Subscribe,
YouTube.
subscribe,
Follow us on
subscribe.
Spotify. If you like this, there's always more
Comment,
coming.
share, please.
Tell your friends.
Please. Or don't.
Or don't. We don't
We
care.
don't
We're
care.
still doing
We're
this
still
shit
gonna do
anyway.
it for us. We do this shit for us. But no, thank you again.
Thank you, Carly.
appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you.
And that is
That's it.
the show.
That's the show.
It's a wrap.
Peace.
I love you guys.